Hey guys, how you doing? Well, it's coming out a nice day here today. 17 degrees Celsius here at the moment, here in Christchurch, New Zealand. And welcome along to my live broadcast 314. I actually said 312 yesterday, it should have been 313. So my apologies there. Welcome along all my brothers there from Bangladesh. Great to have you here today. I hope my connection's not going to be too jumpy and choppy today, because I noticed this morning that it's very cutting on and off all the time. So hopefully it's a bit better now for this broadcast. So hello there to MD Simon over there in Italy. Nice to see you there as well, sir. And also hello there to Shohag Ahmed in Bangladesh. Great to see you there too. And TBC Sharif Khan, another brother there too, always being supportive, all the time being supportive there. And my broadcasts. And I try and do the same with you guys as well, get into your broadcast as much as possible. Except today I had a little bit of a sleep in. I woke up at about 5 o'clock, and then I was going to get up from there, but then I thought, it means I'll be going to sleep about 9 o'clock tonight, which I want to stay up a little bit later than 9 o'clock. So I decided to go back to sleep a little bit longer, and then woke up about 7 or 8 o'clock, somewhere about quarter past 7, I think. So that's the reason I was doing other things where I should have been on some of these other guys' broadcasts at the same time. Nice to see everybody there anyway today, and I hope you'll have a day where you are in the world. Also, hello to my and welcome to my new subscribers who've just joined me recently. Wherever you are, guys in the world, great to have you here. So for all of you guys who have just sort of came in to our TBC community recently, we are a community of over 3.3 million people. And in that community of over 3.3 million people, we have a lot of leaders doing broadcasts, like myself and like a lot of these gentlemen who are joining me here too. They're also broadcasts, in TBC. So what we want to achieve, guys, here is to get out to 1 million broadcasters, 1 million broadcasters worldwide. And we can do that because everybody has their own unique YouTube channel. Okay, so if you want to learn how to do that, just leave a comment, and I can tee up a time with you guys to show you how you actually do that and how to set up a YouTube channel, so you can give your voice as well to how you feel about the current monetary system and how it's controlled by the super elite, who are the biggest pedophiliacs you could ever imagine, and all these things. So I want to get away from that current financial system that we're in. It's just BS, and let's start to embrace more and more the TBC Kringle system with the currency. Okay, so we're right now in the distribution phase of the TBC currency, and our goal is to get to 1 billion people. Okay, have 1 billion people worldwide. That will become like a lot of those people will become the billionaires of the community, and a lot will become millionaires. But it will be the billionaires who will be, paying the millionaires with all the money that's needed and required for the infrastructure that needs to be put into some of these countries in the world that haven't got the proper infrastructures after all these years. Okay, for example, places like the Philippines, Africa, parts of even I guess even New Zealand. But even though we're a well-established country, I guess compared to a lot of countries, we do lack a lot of infrastructure, with still catching this old ferry across from one island to the other island. The Americans apparently said years ago that they could build this bridge for us from the South Island to the North Island, and the government turned it down. We could have had a really good bridge from one island to the next, but the problem they reckon was the currents, the actual currents between the North and the South Islands. It gets quite strong. It's quite a strong current, and a lot of storms can break out between the two islands. So you wouldn't want to be on that bridge, I guess. Excuse me. You wouldn't want to be on that bridge if you had to, put up with a storm as you're going across this bridge. Next thing, this big wave comes across the top of the bridge. I've seen it in some of these other countries there where they have some horrific storms, and hurricanes, and tsunamis, and all the water's just going everywhere. So anyway, guys, I'm going to give you an update on the blog and just take you over there now and show you what's up here today. All right. Okay, so SEC's token framework, local Bitcoiners sentenced, and lawsuit drama video. Oh, wow. Let's have a look at this. This goes for about an hour and a half, guys, but you've got...
Here we go. Now Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Law Review with your host, Tone Base. Had a little bit of technical difficulties getting the live stream to work. That was weird. But we are back. This will be a great panel. I'm not sure how many lawyers are going to be joining us eventually as the show goes on. But for now, we will begin. This will be a panel. Oh, that was on your end, I guess. But for now, we will just start with Bill Rustis of Rustis Law Firm out in California, and we will bring other people on as they show up. Bill, how are you, man? It's been about a month since we did this show.
Yeah, I know. I really miss doing this. We used to have the regular show during the ICO heydays of 2017 when everybody was 2018 when everybody was wondering whether ICOs were securities or not. Hi, everybody. Bill Rustis.
Yeah, we're still wondering, right? Like, we're going to talk about this on the show, but like, I haven't been wondering since 2017, but people still are wondering if ICOs are securities, and I can't wait to talk about that topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny thing. Everybody in the industry keeps saying, well, we want guidance, but I think we've got some pretty clear guidance at this point. And we'll talk about that,
I can't wait. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about a couple of other stories. What's going on in your world, man? How are any of your litigation cases going? Are you still involved in the Tezos thing? Because there was a switch of the lead plaintiff.
Yeah, so I'm still involved in the Tezos case. What happened there was the lead plaintiff had to withdraw, and because of a very specific statute that applies only to U.S. securities class actions, the court decided that they should switch up the lead plaintiff to someone else who had previously applied at the beginning of the case. And so there is a new lead plaintiff, but a lot of the counsel is the same. We have a new co-lead counsel, Joel Fleming from Block and Leviton.
All right, guys, I'll leave it there for that one. That's well worth looking at about the lawyers take on what happened in that particular case with if you guys remember, the Tezos ICO securities suit, and this was to do with whether it was actually classed and can it be used as like a real asset. And this is the whole thing that was over, whether it's a real asset or what's it actually being backed by, a bit like the US dollar, same sort of deal. Okay, now next one, TBC mission statement in Bangla. All right. This is guys in Bangladesh. This is Razur Rahman, these guys are doing a fantastic job over there. I mean, I've lost count now. I've lost count on how many people in the Bangladesh community now. We've got Mizanur, and there's he's just talking there about the how we're recognised now as a private society.
Of this member and all of humanity by.
And this is all available, guys. Before you log into your Kringle Cash office, you can see all this.
Single society হচ্ছে যে আমরা যে ছোট পয়সা ব্যবহার করি তাদের যেটা অ্যাডমিন বলে সবসময়।
This is another gentleman I see in a lot of broadcasts here.
টিবিসির মিশনের স্টেটমেন্টটা সঠিকভাবে বুঝতে পারে, টিবিসিতে কাজ করা আমার জন্য অনেক সহজ হয়। টিবিসির মিশন
This is another gentleman I've seen in broadcast quite a few broadcasts now. TBC Help.
ডিজিটাল যুগে অ্যানালগ সিস্টেমে কাজ যেটা আমাদের শেখানো হচ্ছে, ডিজিটাল ওয়াইজ যে কাজ চলতে পারে বা করতে পারে আমাদের।
Here's another gentleman. I think it's just the same one. I think this might be Mizanur.
একত্রিত হয়ে এক জায়গায় আমরা
haven't seen this gentleman before.
একত্রিত হয়ে এক জায়গায় হয়ে আমরা আসলে এক জায়গায় বসার জন্য যে আসলে কমিউনিটি কিভাবে গ্রো আপ করা যায় এবং কিভাবে সামনের দিকে আরো নিয়ে যায় এবং যারা মার্চেন্ট দিচ্ছেন তাদেরকে।
And this is another new person here I haven't seen before.
আমরা কেন করব না?
Oh yes, I have seen this one.
পারবে না বিশ্ববাসীকে দেখিয়ে দেব। এখন এখানে 30 লাখ মেম্বার আছে তাদের।
All right, so that's the Bangladesh guys. They're doing their broadcasts and explaining about the TBC mission statement over there in Bangla. So very interesting. We are so excited about our first meeting with the TBC admin. Yes, admin has been coming to a lot of our broadcasts recently, and it is fantastic having the admin come in because a lot of questions, any questions that you need to ask, you can ask them. So yeah, okay, some new ones out there. I think this is some regulars I see there doing their broadcasts.
सिस्टम से उसको मतलब भेज देता है, देखो वो कंफर्म हो जाता है। ये ब्लॉकचेन मतलब टेक्नोलॉजी। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सिस्टर जन्नतुल, हमको इनवाइट करने के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
All right, so that's another good cast here of Bangladesh. I'm excited that, you know, admin has also coming into their live broadcast. I mean, first time admin coming to my broadcasts, very exciting because it's like I've been you know, my voice is getting heard out there. You know, but it's great anyway. I mean, we're all becoming like a big community here, guys. Just want to also say hello there to Milsa Aholi over there in the US. Great to have you there today too, Milsa. And you're doing a fantastic job there in the French broadcasting community, in the French community of your broadcasts. Fantastic job there. And also hello there to Sister Christina. I'm not sure if you were on the other one today, Christina, with the GF, with a meeting on that. That was just on before. It's still on at the moment, I believe. All about it and what the future is. Great to have you here too. Yes, and also we have got Christy Kringler here too today. Just speak of the, I won't say the word, but Bitcoin bounties. Let's have a look at that. The contests on the Kringle Cash. Even the correct spelling of the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, fantastic. I'm just going to log in here and give you guys just an update on the contest. See who's in the lead now, because things can change rapidly, guys, in this community overnight. You know, well, half the world's sleeping, the other half the world's producing, okay? So let's go into there, current full-time leaderboard. All right, so we've got elite services in the lead store on 11, and underneath that one is the Ivory Coast, a guy by the name of Gusushani Christ, and he's on number 10. He's on 10 active signups for the week. So there's still how many days left now? 2 days and 23 hours and 42 minutes left for this week's contest. That was with the current time at that time of 4:26. So I figure that's 4:26 a.m. and it's now 8 hours later if it's in Fiji time. All right, so that means that there's about 16 hours or something, 15 hours maybe, 2 hours and 15, sorry, 2 days, 15 hours left for the contest. Okay. And see, there's a lot of different countries coming in now. Togo's coming in here, Greece, Philippines, Ghana, Belarus, where my lady's from, India. Wow. 4 people from her country, near Belarus, Nigeria, Papua New Guinea, Ukraine, Philippines, the Ivory Coast, Burundi, Russian Federation. Hey, look at this, the whole world's coming in here. Canada, Congo, Kazakhstan. Wow. Ah, gee. And also another one there, Namibia, Cameroon, South Africa, Uganda. Man, there's a lot of different countries coming in I haven't ever seen there before. Burundi, Italy. Wow. Oh, that's incredible. Okay, so there's so many new ones coming in there. So there's still a couple of days to go, guys, and about 15 hours at the moment. Okay, for that contest. That's a good one. I like that. So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is far superior than anti-constitutional element. All right. Okay. What's the next one we have on there? The story of your enslavement. Now, this is one that keeps reminding me of this, you know, this enslavement that we all are in. Geez, I tell you what, just watching the three parts of the Matrix. I'm on the 3rd part at the moment, about halfway through Revolutions, and I tell you, it makes you really think when you see that movie. Everyone should watch the Matrix. The story of your enslavement. This is part 1.
This is the story of your enslavement, how it came to be, and how you can find be free. Like all, and exploit the resources around them. At first we mostly hunted and fished and ate off the land, but then something magical and terrible happened to our minds. we became, alone among the animals, afraid of death and of future loss. And this was the start of a great tragedy and an even greater possibility. You see, when we become afraid of death, of injury and imprisonment, we become controllable and so valuable in a way that no other resource could ever be. The greatest resource for any human being to control is not natural resources or tools or animals or land, but other human beings. You can frighten an animal because animals are afraid of pain in the moment, but you cannot frighten an animal with a loss of liberty, with torture or imprisonment in the future, because animals have very little sense of tomorrow. You cannot threaten a cow with torture or a sheep with death. You cannot swing a sword at a tree and scream at it to produce more fruit, or hold a burning torch to a field and demand more wheat. You cannot get more eggs by threatening a hen, but you can get a man to give you his eggs by threatening him. This human farming has been the most profitable and destructive occupation throughout history, and it is now reaching its destructive climax. Human society cannot be rationally understood until it is seen for what it is: a series of farms where human farmers own human livestock. Some people get confused because governments provide healthcare and water and education and roads, and thus imagine that there is some benevolence at work. Nothing could be further from the reality. Farmers provide healthcare and irrigation, training to their livestock. Some people get confused because we are allowed certain liberties and thus imagine that our governments protect our freedoms. But farmers plant their crops a certain distance apart to increase their yields, and will allow certain animals larger stalls or fields if it means they will produce more meat and milk. In your country, your farm, your farmer grants you certain freedoms, not because he cares about your liberties, but because he wants to increase his profits. Are you beginning to see the nature of the cage you were born into? There have been 4 major phases of human farming. The first phase in ancient Egypt was direct and brutal human compulsion. Human bodies were controlled, but the creative productivity of the human mind remained beyond the reach of the whip and the brand, the shackles. Slaves remained woefully underproductive and required enormous resources to control. The second phase was the Roman model, wherein slaves were granted some capacity for freedom, ingenuity, and creativity, which raised their productivity. This increased the wealth of Rome, and thus the tax income of the Roman government, and with this additional wealth, Rome became an empire, destroying the economic freedoms that fed its power, and collapsed. I'm sure that this does not seem entirely unfamiliar. After the collapse of Rome, the feudal model introduced the concept of livestock ownership and taxation. Instead of being directly owned, peasants farmed land that they could retain as long as they paid off the local warlords. This model eventually broke down due to the continual subdivision of productive land and was destroyed during the enclosure movement when land was consolidated and hundreds of thousands of peasants were kicked off their ancestral lands because new farming techniques made larger farms more productive with fewer people. The increased productivity of the later Middle Ages created the excess food required for the expansion of towns and cities, which in turn gave rise to the modern democratic model of human ownership. As displaced peasants flooded into the cities, a huge stock of cheap human capital became available to the rising industrialists. And the ruling class of human farmers quickly realized that they could make more money by letting their livestock choose their own occupations. Under the democratic model, direct slave ownership has been replaced by the mafia model. The mafia rarely owns businesses directly, but rather sends thugs around once a month to steal from the business owners. You are now allowed to choose your own occupation, which raises your productivity, and thus the taxes you can pay to your masters.
It was well worth looking at. The story started from human farming to where we are today. If you're feeling like you're one of those human animals, or whatever you like to say, in the farm, you know, maybe it's about time you decided that you want to choose what you want to do and call the shots. Okay, the next one, take a close look at serfdom then and now. This is Randy's broadcast from today. I think it was just maybe.
Hey, good morning, folks. This is Randy Wilson, broadcast number 231 on this lovely Thursday morning. Here it is. It looks like springtime has finally hit California, Northern California. So everything's all beautiful outside. Anyhow, I wanted to get into it today. I got a lot to share with you guys today, just some things that have been on my mind lately. And you know, I know yesterday, you know, if we look at the broadcast from yesterday, we talked a lot about individualism and everyone's individual, you know, responsibility, if you will, our individual
All right, that's Randy's close look at serfdom then and now. That maybe South, that should be SELF, I'm not sure. Okay, that's a good broadcast that he's put out there too, Randy Wilson. Congratulations, Samantha Kalipada, for doing your 50th live broadcast. Wow. So this is a Samantha, sorry, Samantha Kalipada. Let's check this out. This is just a new person in the Hindi community over there in India. When that loads, here we go.
Yes, good morning, दोस्तों. My name is Abhi Samanto from India Community Vision. और आज मेरा live broadcast.
This is the live broadcast 50.
50 और हम लोग ये डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ जो लाइव ब्रॉडकास्ट में जो टीबीसी क्या है और टीबीसी और टीबीसी में वो क्या मिल सकता है और आने वाला टाइम में आपको मेरे को चाहिए और जो भी हम लोग जो डिस्कस है हम.
All right, so that's the Indian community there with 50th live broadcast there for Samantha Kalipada. All right, here's some more ones here, guys. This is another one that, what is blockchain technology? One to have a look at. All right. 24/7 episode 32. Check this one out, guys. This gentleman here.
Good evening. from India मुर्शिदाबाद TBC कम्युनिटी से मैं आज मेरा जो है
Talking about blockchain technology. Got another one here. Pastor testifies of TBC. Wow, this looks quite good. This looks like Noli in the Philippines.
Hello, magandang gabi TBC Philippines. Again, ako po si Noli
Doing a
Rabel,
fantastic
TBC
job there.
Philippines and the TBC Eagle Group. Magandang gabi mga TBCians at saka sa ating mga TBC sa buong mundo.
Enjoy California. He's got there. That's far better for you than Coca-Cola. There you go. Let's support the roadshow. This is a good one. Over in Africa, we're having a roadshow, and this is Victoria's Flourish, who's a big leader there in the African community with, TBC. And they're going to be having a big roadshow there. There's a big event happening there where you'll be able to purchase items in some cases, I think a lot of cases with 100% TBC. Okay, so I'll just fast forward that a little bit if I can.
10 p.m. South African time. The date is 24th April. We are just counting hours now. Our Flourish International team, we are counting hours on our first ever trade fair coming up in Imo State, Nigeria. Wow. Yeah, there's a breaking news. Breaking news. So people are watching.
Did she say breaking news? Wow, that's excellent. Nigeria, the first trade fair that they're going to be having there with TBC. It's going to be a fantastic hit. I can see that now. It's just going to go fantastic. It's just going like wildfire over there, guys. With where they're at with the whole TBC concept there, and it's working in real time for them to do. New members should study the KCBO dashboard to be successful in TBC. I think this might have been one of mine. Of Stephen Cuffey. Yep, 391. Wow. Stephen Cuffey's live broadcast 391. It's got a bit. It is really important.
Wow.
To, know
I don't know what's
KCBO.
Strange. Well, we got some
technical
mechanical issues going on here with the.
We'll get it right. I think he got it right there. It came right in the finish.
Let me see.
You got it right.
Actual in the Philippines, this was his 63rd live. Let's
go forward. Here we are, the KCBO. Okay, doesn't want to rock the block, guys. New members should study the KCBO to be successful in TBC. All right, just make sure that no more updates there. Our job during the TBC distribution phase is to empty the admin wallet into the wallets of one. Okay, let's have a look at that one. In mind. All right. That's the one. Excellent. Go back. I'll just go out of sharing screen, guys, and come back to the main screen there. just lost the date. Okay. Right. There's one new one there. I think this is just come out there. I'll just share my screen again, guys, for this one. This one here. The Bitcoin contest period is on fire. Now this sounds familiar. This does. When it loads, I'm just wondering. Now this sounds familiar. This does. There we go. As we're speaking, that's live now. Thanks, admin. That's fantastic. Really appreciate everything you're doing there, and really great to see you there in my broadcast there again today. All right. So thanks everybody again once again for joining me today. I'll just stop sharing my screen here now. There we go. Thanks again, guys, for sharing your time with me today. And got over the time here, but never mind. We've got a lot of stuff there today. And also, I just want to say a special thanks for admin coming in and seeing our broadcasts, making sure that we're getting the same information out there to everybody, so everyone's on the same page, okay, with what we're sharing. So, guys, really important to share what's on the blog there and keep up to date with what's happening in the blog. There's a few videos here to go back to when you've got some spare time and check those out later on. In the meantime, guys, have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. I'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time, which will be about 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Until then, guys, have an excellent day and peace.